Alright, what's going on, guys? So, continuing on this one, we're actually trying to finish this up. I actually filmed a whole nother video, kind of going through stuff, and yeah, long story short, I'm just skipping that one, because I just want to get this one done so I can get the both these side by side. But basically, I started to make a video, and then I was waiting on some other parts, and yeah, the video kind of got all over the place. And part of the video also had the R2D2 Xbox with the C3PO controller, which I had already posted, so we're not worried about that. Anyway, I have gotten a lot done, so I'll take this off in a second, but basically I drilled the holes to mount for the screws to go through and mount this. So this is actually mounted. This is actually mounted. I was also a little back and forth on the loop, and so now that I actually have it the way I'm going to do it, I just figured I'm going to scrap that video and we're going to start over here. So as you can see here, we've got a big cutout over our hard drive underneath our reservoir. And so basically what I did was cut the extra flange off of this acrylic piece. This was it basically had just had a part that stuck out so it would kind of stay like this. This just came with the blue temperature display that I used on the oh, that's inside the eyeball Xbox behind the fan. And I like it. So I cut that extra little flange off, and basically I'm going to secure this over the hole there. And then the temperature display will just sit right inside of there. So it'll look kind of cool, almost like the temperature display is just kind of floating there in the middle. And like I said, man, do I regret putting that white temperature display on the other R2D2 Xbox, and it looked great, but they were sold out. I cannot believe that. There was so many left, and not only are they gone, but Frozen CPU is now closed. You can't buy anything from there. I also wished I had gotten a couple more of these. I'm pretty sure I can still get the red Enzo Tech 90-degree fittings from like Performance PC, but I'm not waiting another week to finish this one up. Although, to be honest, I might still order them, and then I want this one to be done, loop filled, compare it to the budget one, and then put the budget one up for sale. I'm still hoping to do that by this weekend. But anyway, in the long run, I would like to not use chrome ones and actually have more red fittings there, just so it's all matching. Or white, I guess, would also look good since I decided to put the white thing here. But anyway, yeah, so this will be secured here. Now, the temperature display will be in the middle, but I think you'll still kind of see the hard drive and the sticker under it, so I think I'll do the same thing I did on the budget build and put some kind of red sticker, just something over on the hard drive, just so that you can kind of see it through. Now, I think I might also... I keep saying I was doing the wiring. I still haven't actually done the wiring yet, but it's very simple. I have everything I need now. I need to put this flat sensor, tuck it under the water block, and then just splice into our hard drive cable for our 5 volts for this. And since I'm doing that, and since I have this clear piece around here, I think I might just take a little strip of that remote style LED lighting, even though I'll probably only use red. So it'll kind of have a cool little glow around the temperature display. And technically you'll probably see it kind of through here, but I mean, this fan already has red LEDs in it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, we'll do something like that. Let's move these out of the way. So our loop here, let me actually go ahead and take this top piece off real quick. Okay, so one thing I was waiting on were these acrylic 90-degree barb fittings instead of using one of these like I did on my other one. And I basically did the same thing. I think I looped it right around into this part of the block, and then these two go straight out the side. You'll see down here, got our little cutout, so that's where the tubing will come out so that they can go into the radiator and reservoir. We're doing basically the same loop, roughly the same setup as the first version of me doing this with all the white system where it'll come out the side, and basically our reservoir will feed in to our pump. That's our inlet. It'll pump it right around through the block and then come back out that same hole into our radiator and then back into our reservoir. And so I have these same cubes I had from when I first did the build. I'm pretty sure these are Bits Power acrylic cubes. Now these ones have barbs built onto them. Same as the budget build, I had those metal ones that I used to loop it around in front of the power supply. But yeah, I only have 3 of these left. I'm pretty sure, I know I had 4 90-degree ones and 1 T block. And the T block was used in my first version to have a spot to plug in our temperature sensor. But that one, the T block, is now on the budget build. That's on the very top, coming out of the pump, so that it loops around, but then you have a spot to fill and drain the system. And then I only have 2 of these 90-degree ones left. I'm pretty sure I must have put the other 2, I think they're inside of the PS3 Slim. But yeah, long story short, I didn't want to use one of these here because I like using these on the outside. And the reasoning for that is, instead of using like these 90-degree ones, it's very difficult, and yes, I cut myself while cutting this out, so there is some real blood mixed on that. Anyway, so what makes this difficult to put together, it's kind of like the PS3 Slim, where you kind of have to set your top piece, clip it around the front clips here, and then kind of swing it around back, clip it on the back, and then you put the screws in through the bottom. So unless I were, like I did on the PS3, to totally cut this out all the way to the bottom, so that the tubing can just stick out and then we can slide this over. The problem is, on this one, you can see there's clips all the way around, and that's what holds the bottom piece on. So I'm doing what I did the first version, like I said, where I had a hole just like this, and I had the tubing barely sticking out. And that's so that it's easy to just feed those through while I put this in, instead of trying to feed tubing all the way through that's sticking really far out and then sliding it over. So basically how that works is we'll have the tubing on here, and then I will already have the barb fittings pushed into the tubing, so just this will be sticking out, just the threads, and that's easy to put through those holes as I put the top on. And then all I have to do is take the 2 cubes and spin those on, tighten them up, and then put the other barbs on. So I have 1 more of these just like this. They'll have the white barbs here on the inside that'll be sticking out. You won't really see them much. And then there'll just be 2 of these clear cubes, and they each will have the chrome red barbs. And so basically, like I said here, this is coming out of our reservoir. This will go straight into one of those cubes. It'll go through the pump, block, and then come out this side. And we'll have the other cube going straight up into this radiator, go through the radiator, and then this goes straight back into the reservoir. And I'm really excited about how this worked out here. So as you can see, we've got these 2 screws, our reservoir's mounted. We've got our screws there for our radiator mounted, and then there's no actual tubing between here and here. We've got a 90-degree Enzotech fitting with a double male rotary, and I decided to use this flow meter. So we got white and the red, it's all matching, and that connects straight into this. And then we just have a 90-degree, and I just happen to already have this and this fitting here, so that loops right back into our reservoir. And just the height of everything worked out perfectly to where I could use these fittings just like this. And everything is already all tightened up here. You can see, I can lift this up from here, or from here, this is all connected. So, like I said, that's all done. Once I connect this acrylic piece, sorry, moving the camera around a lot, I got this on the floor. Once I put that acrylic piece in, basically all I have to do is have this sitting upright while I plug in the fan and the pump, and then I'll feed the temperature display through the hole here and just have it sitting down. Then I can slide this over, make sure these tubes on the side are sticking out, bolt all that down. Then I just screw on those cubes, connect our tubing from here and to here, and then just take the temperature display and just pop it right in. It's going to clip right into this. That's what that's meant for. I don't have to do anything where I sand down the sides or any of that. I just clip that right in there. It's going to be perfect. Now this one, I just have to figure out. It looks like this is the correct orientation. And this one actually has, I believe this just switches from Celsius to Fahrenheit, possibly. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So, that's all we got to do. And then, like I said, last thing, I just got to cut off, just like the budget one. I'm not really going to show this because in both the Xbox One S builds, I've showed which wires are which. I'm just going to cut the harness from the original fan, splice in a, basically a connector just like that for a 3-pin. So that's going to turn that plug into a 3-pin. And then I'm going to plug in this splitter. It's a 3-pin fan splitter into that. So then we've got our 2 plugs, one for the pump, one for the fan. That's it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that wiring now. And yeah, basically do a final assembly. And then this thing will be ready to try adding some fluid in. And yeah, do the kind of the final video. Now I don't want this pump just resting right on top of these chips here, so we're just going to have it up just very slightly and just put some of that double-sided adhesive here on the back side, and that's it. Yeah, and then put it all together. So I'm excited. Alright guys, so this is pretty much where I'm going to end it. Like I said, I'm just showed you the few things I gotta do, but for the most part, this is what it will basically look like. Pretty crazy. Way overkill. Honestly, the first one I did was overkill. The budget one, according to the temps I've done so far, I wouldn't call it overkill, but it's definitely more than sufficient. We got our 2 cubes here. That's basically what it will look like. One going up that way, one going up that way. And before I go, you see I put a sticker in there, and yes, it just says milk, but whatever. The temperature display will be in the way, so at least underneath it you'll see that it is still red and white instead of just the partially torn up sticker on the hard drive. The fluid. So, I don't know how well the camera will pick this one up, but it's called Powder Red. It's a pastel. I was going to go with just like the blood red I did before, but for starters, like I said, our reservoirs are already like a red tint, so any red, it's just going to look more red, I guess. You'll probably be able to see it kind of cool through the end caps that are clear, and then you'll see it going through our flow meter. Other than that, all we have is just this tiny bit of tubing here and here that you'll see, and of course the cubes themselves will look red. So it's pretty cool. Obviously Primo Chill. If I don't use distilled water, I usually get some kind of Primo Chill fluid. I like the clear fluids, like the UV clear or the blood red was nice. The Views and the pastels, haven't really tried them much. I haven't heard the best things. I know that they can kind of gunk up your system a little bit, but this one actually comes with the loop prep, so you're supposed to run this, dilute it in distilled water through your system for a few days, and then drain the whole thing out, clean it out with more distilled water, and then put in like your pastel fluids and stuff like that. So obviously first thing I'm gonna do is just straight up distilled water for the actual like reveal video and everything. And then we'll probably go ahead and add some of this. More for the videos and effects and stuff like that. But since this is my personal system and I will use it a lot, I don't know if I want to just run this all the time, but I don't know. We'll kind of see how it stains. I guess I'm not worried about it really staining this. It already is red. And the cubes themselves, like I said, were used in my last build, which I used blood red fluid. And yeah, you can see, I guess, a tiny bit of staining on one of them there. But I don't know. I'm not worried about it. I can get more tubing, and other than that, staining the inside of like these, you know, I don't know. It's not permanent. You can still clean it. It's just, it can be a pain, but it's worth it for the effect. So I think that'll look cool. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'm going to post this now, and yeah, probably by the time you watch this video, when it comes out, I will have this thing finished up and be making the final video. And then we'll be doing our little side-by-side comparison, budget versus non-budget, and we'll kind of go over what this one cost in the next video, because I still have to go through and write everything down. Because obviously I had to buy this fan, I bought this radiator, I bought the red fittings, I bought this reservoir. Our block isn't really included. That's kind of the same as the pump I used in the budget build, in terms of I've just had them for a very long time, so I'm reusing those. The pump for this one, though, is brand new. I am reusing some tubing and some fittings. I bought the temperature display. Not only did I buy this reservoir, but I then opted to go and buy these clear end caps and these clear mounts, because they came with black and black. And then what else? I even bought, like in the budget build, I used paints I already had, all those color shifts. This one I actually went and bought the anodized red to do this effect with. So it'll definitely cost more than the other one, but we'll get into that later. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. See you in the next video.